Hey folks, how's it going? It is Monday. We've got Movement Monday here with your host. I am Ray Reyes. That is Hampton McCullough, aka H. We are here for Movement Monday. How are you doing, Hampton?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Today we wanted to kind of come on and do a little bit of a different analysis and talk about how it relates to movement. A lot of people may have made me familiar with the SWOT analysis, and that's strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And I was inspired earlier this week by a webinar that I joined where they talked about SWOT as it relates to exercise. And so I just thought it would be a good opportunity for us to discuss in this today. Um, so we'll go ahead and kick it off. We'll kind of just go down, if that's all right with you, Hampton. We'll just go down and go, strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and just kind of, speak to what our strengths are, what our weaknesses are, and so on and so forth. How does that sound?
Sounds good to me.
Good deal. All righty. Well, I'll kick it off. I know for me, strengths. I've learned basically by people telling me that one of my strengths is cardio strength. I can push myself. I can run. Um, I've only done as much of a half marathon. And I say only, that's a lot to a lot of people. But it's not a full marathon, which I don't really have any desire to do a full marathon. The halves are good for me. Um, but as far as with the environment that I coach in, there's a cardio aspect of it, but it's also not 100% cardio. I've always been kind of a split up the cardio and split up the strength part of my exercise. But I've always, I've never been a guy to really just do a heavy lifting workout and then go and take it super easy on the cardio side of it. Mainly because I've been fighting being overweight the majority of my life, and so I know that cardio is a strength of mine. Running, it's not necessarily a strength, but more of a challenge for me that I like to overcome. So,
Me too.
and that's just one that I push myself to do, mainly because when I was in junior high and before I got to high school, I couldn't run. I was too heavy. Running a mile in a PE class period was not something I could do. It just, I don't know that I couldn't do it. It just wasn't a desire. So yeah. So what about you? What is your strength? What is your go-to? What is your
I would
uh,
say my strength is also cardio, but
mhm.
um, in the cycle world,
Yeah,
uh,
okay.
like leg cardio. I don't love running, but similar to you, I push myself. I do want to do a half at some point, just to literally say I did it.
Hmm.
To challenge myself, and um, I haven't decided on doing a full because I don't really care to do a full, but I have to start with the half to see how I feel and just to say I've done it.
Yeah.
I am really strong in the biking world. Like I do like 40 to 60 miles a week.
Hmm.
Um, and that's because I love it.
That's
Uh,
awesome. Yeah.
so it just comes easy to me. But yeah, I would say that's my strength. Just
Yeah.
I That's kind of similar to yours, but not in the running
Yeah.
and
I used to do cycling for a long while, and actually, I have a couple of friends that both happened to be when I did cycling on a regular basis. I did spin classes, and you know, two people that I know from other circles have become my friends, but they were at one time my cycling instructors, and so it's kind of a cool thing because neither one of them are in that arena anymore. But one of them is somebody that I'd like to eventually have us on and have chat with us. She lives right up the road from us, and we just happen to be live in the same community, and our kids go to the same schools and whatnot. And
oh
so,
yeah. Yeah.
and then another one, she's up the road, just in Tacoma. Probably about 10 minutes up the road. But she's a flight attendant now, and it's not really doesn't fit her schedule. But I still see her workouts and stuff, and she's still inspiring to me. And so it's kind of cool to have built that. But that kind of goes with the whole gym family type of thing. So
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
So, and I loved it. I'm not real sure why I stopped doing cycling. I don't think that there was anything that said. I think it was one of those you just don't realize when it's your last time going. So, but I know, I switched gyms and my arena now isn't the same opportunities to do that. To have cycling in there, we don't do cycling. We do have a bike and a strider at Orange Theory, but that's more of a when people can't run, it's an alternative option for them that goes in. So,
yeah, that's awesome.
Moving on to weaknesses. I mean, I could probably spend a full session talking about weaknesses because we can all find them, but weaknesses are more about overcoming, and not to be cheesy or coachy or whatever, but weaknesses are your opportunity to make those your strengths. And so, I know for me, weakness. It used to be that rowing was a weakness of mine because we do have a rowing aspect, at our gym, and I used to hate it. Now I've learned so much about proper form and how to properly get a good rowing and getting wattage up, and I've improved a lot, and it's made it less of a weakness of mine. And so now at Orange Theory, you have your opportunity to start either on the treadmill or on the rower. And I used to be start on the tread all the time guy. And then I kind of said, I need to be able to attack that rower. So I switched it up, and I'm a rower start guy right now. And I turned that weakness into more of a challenge. And,
right.
But I mean, I know for me, diet wise, weakness is sugar. I love me some sugar. And I try very hard not to indulge because, when I start to indulge in sugar, it's pretty much a domino effect. And it's like, I have a little bit and it's like, give it all to me. So, and I just want all the sugars. So, I try, even more so right now in the challenge that we're in with Innovative, I don't post a lot about what I eat, mainly because my diet isn't any specific diet, if you will. It's more of staying away from sugars and staying away from fats. And so, I do overthink it and probably worry that people will take that and run with it and then try to figure out how to do it their way, where it's been a long while for me of getting to this point where I know what I can have and what I can't have. And it's not any specific diet. I can't give anybody, a meal plan, if you will, or any guides that way. I just know what I can't do.
I definitely have steered away from posting my plate too, solely for the fact that the same thing, like what I eat isn't going to help them because I am in a different phase of what I want my physique to be. So I literally have to eat more food to get where I want to be.
For sure. No, I get that 100%. Yeah.
If that makes sense. So I don't really love to post my food because I don't want people, like you said, to run with it because it's not what I'm eating for my sustainability and my physique. Not going to match other people's.
Well, there's just so much more to it. There's a lot of explanation that comes behind it, and you can't really share that in a post of here's why I do this, and here's what I did today, and here's why I'm eating what I ate because I'm trying to build muscle, and here's what's in this for the muscle, and here's what's in this for why I eat the carbs that I eat, and it's strategic in the carbs that I have, and so I almost feel like it'll take away from somebody's focus on how they're eating and feel like if they're especially to my own horn or anything, but if somebody is watching me because they know that I've been successful and they see that I'm doing something, they typically want to mirror that. And it's like that.
Well, I also see it as like, I don't say I eat pasta. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I eat a lot of it because I eat carbs, and I don't want to post that in so that someone else sees it and maybe they're having a hard time knocking out or knocking carbs out, if that makes sense. Like,
totally.
Like, well, why does she get to eat it? And you know what I mean? Like, that's tough. It's tough for people just like you, sugar. Like, it's tough for people, and I don't want to if they're down, I don't want to kick them while they're down.
And I'm sure a lot of people appreciate that. They don't even, I mean, they don't have to know, that we're posting it to not post the temptations, but our lifestyle is a little bit different. I mean, we do Movement Monday because we're both very active people.
Yeah.
We both get a lot of movement in, and with that movement requires a little bit more calorie intake. You can handle those carbs because you burn the carbs. We know our bodies well enough to know when we're going to burn it, when we're not, when to eat those things, when not to. And it's not always something that, is in somebody's everyday life. And so there's just a lot of background to it. So I get that 100%. So yeah. On to opportunities. Opportunities for movement. There's a lot of opportunities for movement, and I know that we've touched base on that probably in plenty of different episodes of Movement Monday. But there's opportunities everywhere if you're looking for them. If you're looking for opportunities to not get movement in, you'll find those as well. So but going for a walk. It's sunny here in Washington today. I don't know what it's like in Alaska today, but
Melting.
there you go. It's a good opportunity, and I know I see your parents post all the time that they go out for walks when when the snow's melting and it's icy. It's tricky, but a lot of people would use that as an excuse not to get out and get movement.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I choose Sundays as my rest day. So I rest on Sundays, and it's almost become kind of a challenge for me to not get movement in. But because I'm go, and especially this past weekend, Saturday was hitting the ground running nonstop and going into that Sunday rest was kind of important. But then I feel lazy towards the end of the day. And so, I know that there's opportunities to get movement in, but, I even have means of, I have workout equipment at home. That's one of the things that COVID did for me is help me to get all this stuff at home. So that way I could have more opportunities to get movement in because it took a lot of our opportunities away.
I have an example of this. I'm on two teams. I'm on a women's soccer team and a co-ed soccer team. And my women's team, this session it's like there's only a few teams. And I really was like, because I pay a lot of money to be able to play. And I was literally like, do I want to spend the money to play when there's only a couple teams? Like, I think there's 3 teams because the high school teams, they go into their real season. So they're out of indoor. And I was like, no, I don't really want to play if it's only a couple teams, And I was like, no, I play to get more steps. I play because I get to play. I have the opportunity to go and have another workout that my body allows. So I'm going to play no matter the circumstances. I don't know.
Well, and that kind of goes back to the strength part of it. Soccer is one of your strengths. I know you've played soccer forever. So, and that's an opportunity for you to flex your strength and continue to move through that as you get into, later into life as an adult.
But it reflects a weakness as well, because I literally do not know how to stop. Like,
I get that. Yeah.
Like I still have active recovery days, but it's either like I'm swimming or I'm doing yoga or, that's one of my weaknesses, I don't stop.
Yeah.
So,
And I think that comes with a certain mindset because I have a bit of that issue myself. I talked previously about, going to baseball practice at 10 in the morning and they're like, did you get a workout in already? I'm like, because I had the opportunity to, so I did. Yeah. And so, I was in California last weekend and, I asked, to make sure that I had enough credits in my account to be able to go to classes while I was there. I forgot my running shoes. I brought towels, I brought workout clothes, I brought headbands, because I have to wear a headband. I have nothing to hold the sweat in. Yeah. I brought everything, and I don't know how I forgot the most basic thing as running shoes. And it was like I didn't have a lot of time to travel to go anywhere. And within the city that I was in, there was one store that had running shoes. And I'm like, what is this? And it's like, it's not a small town, but it's also, it's a vacation town. Santa Barbara. It's where I grew up, but it's just they've kind of taken away a lot of that and moved it to outskirts areas. And like I said, I didn't have time to drive even a half hour to the next, big town over to shop. Luckily, my cousin had shoes that were a little bit big for him. He's a smaller foot than I am, but I wore his for 2 of the classes, and then the third one that I wanted to take, he had already left, and so I couldn't do it. And I tried to go buy shoes, and I was like, sweet, they have the shoes that I want. I needed new shoes anyway, and they didn't have my size. So I had to skip a workout, and it like I woke up at 6:30 that Monday morning thinking, how can I get a workout in? What can I do? Can I do this barefoot? Should I just go to the beach and walk? Like, if I go to the beach and walk, I'm gonna have to walk longer than I would have for an hour class. So I talked myself out of it. I'm like, it's okay to have an extra rest day. I literally had to sit there and be
yeah,
like,
I literally am. I have to learn how to not be so hard on myself.
yeah,
But like,
yeah,
why don't you just go for that mile walk? But like, it's
yeah,
okay. Like, it's not gonna set me back any more than like. I just need to sit down and understand that, like what you said, it's okay to have a day where you just chill and don't get, your stuff.
yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah. But it's harder to convince
But my
yourself than it
mind's
is
like,
to,
no, it's
yeah,
not.
yeah. Yeah, because it feels good while you're just chilling, but also you're just like, all right, well, later on in the day, like I said, I feel lazy later on if I didn't get my
Mhm.
movement in. So I'm like, well,
And
all
then I'm
right,
pacing. So either
yes.
way, I'm getting my steps because I'm like, oh, I gotta do something.
Yeah. All right. Well, on to the T. Let's talk about threats. And I think the threats are what become a lot of people's weaknesses and what might happen. We look at the challenges. I know that a couple of the challenges that I've done are a little bit out of my comfort zone. And like, I've done the Spartan race, I've done the Tough Mudder. The Tough Mudder, the first time I did it with a bunch of people that are, good, 15, 20 years younger than me. So um, my concern was that I wasn't going to be able to keep up, and I was able to keep up. It was good, but I almost talked myself out of that because it was a threat of that I wasn't, or that I was going to be holding them back, or that, you know, I just wasn't, I wasn't as, or in as good of shape as I thought I was. And so with the Spartan race, I've put that off a couple of times because that requires a little bit more strength than I have. But I did it this past summer, and I'm signed up again to do it next summer because, or this coming summer anyway, um, because it's a challenge to make myself stronger. And that's, I'm looking forward to that. But the threat of either not being able to do it, hurting myself because I'm not in the right or proper shape. And I think the hurt is probably what becomes more of the threat for me and probably a lot of people, especially people my age, because
Mhm.
if you're not properly conditioned, you can get hurt. And there is a threat there, but the opportunities to get to that point are there. You just got to find them. And so,
Yeah,
um,
I feel like a threat to me would be like if I do, or a threat is if I do the half marathon or a marathon and I know running isn't my strength, um, the time thing, like having a time in mind and maybe I don't beat it or, I'm not, that's a threat.
yeah,
Like, I'm doing this half marathon again. That's like, and then
yeah,
it challenges you to, like you said, you're doing it, your race again this summer. Like, that's okay too, I guess. But
yeah.
it is a threat. It's something I think about.
Did I share with you about why I did two half marathons back to back?
Yes.
So I mean, I know that threat 100% because,
Yeah.
I finished, 7 minutes over, or I don't know, it wasn't even 7 minutes over, but it was a very short time. And so, the just, I didn't like it. So I did it again 2 weeks
Yep. I,
later.
well, that's why I'm doing the triathlon. I wanted to finish in an hour and a half, and I finished in hour 37. So 7 minutes. So I'll be doing it again.
Yeah. But no, I mean, it's those opportunities to say, and one thing we do at Orange Theory is we have benchmarks. And so, I'm always, well, the class that I missed was a benchmark. And so I really wanted to run it because it was the end of a challenge that we have at the gym. And we did it at the beginning of the challenge. So I'm like, listen, I need to see how much stronger I've gotten, how
Yeah.
can I improve? Um, and I wasn't able to do it. And so like, I think that's why it bothered me so much that I wasn't able to get this class in. And, but it's important to take, to have those those trackers of where you're at and how you're progressing, because that's your reward for the dedication that you have. And so, we talk about this in weight management all the time. Take those pictures, take those measurements, because those are your trackables that show what your progress is and what keeps you going. And so, at the gym, having the trackable workouts, it's get tracked in an app, and I can go back through and see, now years on, because I've been in the Orange Theory Arena for a few years now. I can see different ones, and I'm like, wow, it's really rewarding to go back and see the progress that I've made, and how much it's done for me. Or even, this, being on, 43 episodes here of Movement Monday. It's kind of rewarding to go back to watch the earlier ones, to see how scary it was to even talk to somebody, here, knowing it's going to be recorded and it's going to be out there for the masses. But here we are. It's fun.
It's on growth.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I feel like too, I want people to understand, like, you and I talking about this stuff can be really intimidating, and because we are both like go, 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 and we don't stop. If you miss a day, like I said earlier, it's okay. It's not going to set you back at any of your progress, but get back to it. Like, get back at it, because don't get in the mindset of, oh, I missed today. Like, oh, I can just miss this day. I can just miss the next day, because it's a slippery slope. And then you're back to, oh, I can't get back on track. And then the first day is hard again. You just have to get back to it, no matter how hard it is. One day off is not going to set you back. Definitely.
And that falls into so many levels. I've recently seen a lot of things about when you have when you fall off and you eat something that you're not supposed to eat. What does that mean for you? For one, it's a mental game. Two, it doesn't mean that you just throw it all away and the whole rest of the day is garbage. It's one setback. Don't make that setback a bigger setback. Another thing is, kind of a quote that I've posted a couple times, and I like it, so I'll probably post it a couple more times before I'm over it. But it's, don't let the weekend be your weekend. And because the weekend is usually harder for people to stay on track. But also, if you have a bad weekend, sometimes it's a decision. I choose to, this weekend I'm not going to do it. When I went on vacation, I chose not to follow a meal plan, not to stay on track, not to get workouts in. But it's also a conscious decision of that. I know that I'm going to get right back into my lifestyle, not so much that I'm going to be forced to get into something that makes me uncomfortable. And so it gets easier, and it is intimidating. And we didn't get here because it's, you and I have both had setbacks. And we've both had to come back and force ourselves to be active again. You as a mom, I'm sure during pregnancy you weren't able to move as much as you could. Some people do, go all the way through and just wear it like it's nothing. But
well, the other thing with like the weekend thing is, when I think of that, it automatically made me think of, like, don't miss out on like memories and stuff because of your lifestyle, because I feel like that really puts people into the mindset of, oh, I missed out. And then it kind of brings out like a binging behavior.
Yes.
Like, I've missed out on so much. And then you're just like, oh, I'm going to eat all this, because you're just knocking out things that you love. And then it's in front of your face and you just go all in on it. Like, you have to have those days where, like, even I look at it as like a reward, or, people have cheat meals, and some people may not be able to do that at all because they maybe think they don't have the willpower to go back after the weekend. But I think it's really big to give yourself grace and allow yourself to have some not so great things, or find things that replace the not so great things that you love, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, 100%. Well, finding the thing, like, So, I did keto for 3.5 years, and I so much of what I eat, in my lifestyle now is stemmed from what I learned while I was on keto. And,
Mhm.
I say that I keep sugar out. I don't keep the carbs out because that's not keto friendly, but, black coffee, that's a very controversial subject to a lot of people. How do you do that? That's so nasty. It's gross. But also, I learned not to put milk and not to put sugar in my coffee. And I did that for so long that now it's my preference. And if
Yeah.
I put anything in it, it almost makes me cringe when I have all that sugar in my
Yeah,
coffee.
that's
And
what
it's
I
like,
was gonna say. It's like
yeah.
you knocked out all the like dairy and the sugar, and
Uh-huh.
it's better for you.
Yeah.
And that's cool that it's your preference now, because why have
Yeah.
those if you don't want it or need it?
Definitely. But good deal. Any final thoughts before we wrap up?
No, I'm good. That was good.
Good deal. Alrighty. Well, we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. Once again, we are Movement Monday here, your host, Ray Reyes and Hampton McCullough. We do this every Monday to talk about movement and how it relates to our lives, and just try to share some encouragement and provide some opportunities for folks to have just some thoughts on movement. Again, if you haven't joined us before and this is your first time, we have many different subjects that we've covered. So go ahead and check out our channel on YouTube. Give us a like, give us a share, give us a follow, tell a friend. We'd love any feedback that you have for us. If there's something that you'd like for us to cover, we're always looking for topics to cover. If movement or passion is something, or movement or vitamins and supplementation are a passion of yours and you'd like to join us, we'd love to have guests. Reach out to either one of us and we can find a way to get you on. Hampton and I are both promoters for innovative nutrition. So we do have a line of vitamin supplements to help you, improve your movement, and also some weight management products as well. We have some products that we can send samples for as well. Other ones we can provide information for and help get you to that next level. So reach out if you'd like any more information on that. Other than that, we will leave you with drink your water, take your vitamins, get your movement in, and have a great day. We'll see you next time.
See ya.